Well, today's video, we have a jam-packed Stadia news video filled with bits of information, game dates, and reveals that I'm excited to touch on. And well, it's on the heels of Stadia dropping much needed new features. We're finally coming into that second half of the year where we're getting lots of new shiny things. So with that said, we're going to cover Saints Row the Third coming to Stadia, Baldur's Gate 3 gets a release date, and Stadia reaches 1 million downloads, plus a lot more in this video. So with all that said, let's get started. Now let's start this video with Saints Row the Third Remastered getting a rating on the Brazil's electronic entertainment rating site. Now this is significant because this was the site that broke that Mafia trilogy was coming to Stadia, and well, Saints Row is a heck of a game if it does come. We are definitely missing that GTA type game, and this one in its remastered glory would fill that void. This is a title, if you're unfamiliar, is like Grand Theft Auto but on steroids with crazy gameplay and a wild story. It has over 30 DLC that comes with the remastered version, so there is a lot of content and goodies here. But with that said, this has not been technically announced yet for Stadia. But this rating on the Brazil website has broken news before, so hopefully we get to see this mammoth of a title coming to Stadia soon. But moving on, it looks like Baldur's Gate 3 finally gets that release date. And well, let me explain, because not exactly. It was announced that Baldur's Gate 3 is looking to come out on August as an early release date, but there was some special wording that was used with the special word of maybe. So it's possible they still could delay it, but there was no mention of Stadia specifically as well. But in the past, we had heard from Larian Studios, the developer for Baldur's Gate 3, that Stadia would get early access. But on top of that, on June 18th, there will be a live gameplay showcase in which we will decide if the developer will get to kill an enemy of choice or embark on a different scenario in his live playthrough. Now, this could be significant because it could be the first time we get to see the feature Crowd Choice, a Stadia feature where the viewers make the choices for the streamer. Now, Baldur's Gate 3 is easily one of my most anticipated titles of the year, even in its early access state where I'm sure we're going to see tons of bugs. But despite that, I'm still looking forward to using this as a way to interact with you guys, the audience. But not just that, the game itself has also received a boost in graphics. They've also redone the combat and the camera work, and they have been really working hard on this game since we saw it many months ago. This is honestly the most purest RPG Stadia is going to be getting this year, so it fills a void that Stadia desperately needed in my opinion. So I can't wait to see this when it comes out this August. But alright, moving on to some awesome news. It was uncovered that the Stadia app has hit 1 million downloads, and I knew it would be a matter of time before this happened when I had announced back in March the app had hit 500,000. Fast forward, the number has now doubled in just a matter of months, but keep in mind that this isn't indicative of how many users are actually on the platform. As you know, previously we needed the Stadia app to do almost anything, and people signing up for a trial also needed to have it downloaded. Also, we don't know the numbers for the iOS as well, and despite not being able to launch Stadia itself on those devices, you could still make purchases and setting changes on that. So the number of actual total downloads overall is still unknown. But at the moment, it's not possible to know how many active users Stadia does have, but at least this is a small indicator of what's been happening in regards to the numbers since Stadia launch. So I'm glad to finally see that 1 million mark finally be hit, and hopefully we'll see many more people joining this service as people really start to realize how amazing Stadia is. Now, the next piece of news is something that went up on the Google website and is a feature that some people have been waiting for, and that is streaming to YouTube directly with Stadia. A page on the website that has now since been taken down shows that the feature is close to making its way, and it states here, for now, you'll need to use your streaming software to live stream in Stadia. It also mentions interact with your viewers in new ways with crowd play and crowd choice. Now, this isn't exactly what some of you were hoping for, because it does mention that you have to use your favorite software as in OBS, Streamlabs OBS, or XSplit, or a host of others. But this could potentially just be the start of a rollout to work with the content creators like myself, and then work its way to everyone who wants something really easy and quick to stream straight to YouTube. Now keep in mind, we mentioned earlier in this video that Baldur's Gate 3 is looking to do a showcase live on the 18th, and I think that this is no coincidence that this page went up but has now since been taken down, and that is that we might see crowd choice in action soon, and it will showcase how some of these features will work live. While currently this streaming to YouTube feature might be limited to people like myself, I am personally excited because maybe this means higher quality streaming footage when I'm live streaming, and the ability to feature to you guys directly in a game with me with the new crowd choice and crowd play is something that I can't wait for. But like I said, we'll see how Google implements all of this, and honestly, there's nobody in this community that's going to be more equipped to judge all this, as I've been streaming for years and doing YouTube for years. So we'll see how this goes, and I'm excited to test this all out. And the last segment of news that I want to touch on fast is games that have been announced for Stadia and some that have gotten release dates. And we're going to start this part of the news with Windbound, a game that has heavy inspiration from games like Breath of the Wild, Wind Waker, and the Zelda franchise. Visually, this is a great looking indie title from Deep Silver, and one that I think a lot of you will enjoy when it comes August 28th. Then we got a release date for Chris Tales, and that is going to be coming on Stadia on November 17th. It's a JRPG indie title that I think has potential to be a surprise indie hit of the year, and one that I think I'm going to enjoy quite a bit and will be looking forward to. And last and certainly not least, a game that I want to be taken at the moment with a pinch of salt, because this is only off of IGN's website, and that is System Shock Redux, the remake of the classic PC cyberpunk game from 1994, but has been rebuilt with the Unreal Engine, and is possibly coming to Stadia. The IGN website has Google Stadia listed, but unfortunately no Stadia logo at the end, which could just indicate that we'll get a delayed version of the title when it does come. Either way, I was glad to see this, as I did play the classic way back in the day, and I think this is just another great addition to the library. But alright, with all that said, I did want to touch on that a lot of games have been announced this past week to come, and well, almost none of them had mentioned Stadia, and I think that was on purpose. We're right around the corner from another Stadia Summer Connect, and I fully expect to see a lot of titles announced for Stadia here soon, as well as their first-party exclusive that they're working on, and just a host of other titles. So stay tuned here for the Stadia news and this channel. Be subscribed, make sure you have that notification bell turned on, and hit that like button so I can go ahead and drop news for you guys in the future. Like always, I'm Sunny, and I'll see you guys in the clouds.